Room tone.
Room tone.
Girl, why was I on set and they said that last week? I almost died trying not to laugh.
Hey, you know you're not supposed to be talking during room tone.
At all. But I just thought about literally freeze. Like, don't even breathe.
And hope it's not 30 seconds long.
All right. Are we ready?
Is this too much split?
For who?
Is that still
For who? Okay. You sure?
I'm ready.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Austria Milan. Hey, everyone. I'm Austria Milan.
And I'm Amber L.
And welcome to
The ZHUZH.
The ZHUZH. We're back.
We're back.
I know it's been a little while.
Woo, child.
Somebody been sick and carrying
Sick
on.
as a
dog. Ooh. She said, I got the rasp.
Let me tell you something that was so
down
funny,
and
girl. So I told you briefly how I had an episode at my house with some stranger in the middle of the night, y'all. I have to tell you this because it was scary, but it was funny at the same time. Mm-hmm. Girl, I fell asleep on the couch. Woke up to, I wish I could mimic how it sounds. It was like, I can't even mimic it. This guy was banging on my window. And I found out the next morning why. He had a stick.
Excuse me?
Banging at my window.
No, ma'am.
So it jarred me. And in my mind, within a split second, I was waiting to hear somebody call my name. Like as if something had happened to my car or like a family, like any emergency.
Like come outside or whatever.
Yeah. Nothing happened, girl. You've been in my house, so you see my couch. Girl, let me tell you something. My mother didn't teach me one thing. She taught me how to get away from something. You hear me?
Get on out.
Girl, I stiffened up like a board. I rolled.
Not stop, drop, and roll. Not it's a far.
Girl, I rolled on the
No face, no case. You was like, they won't see me. You're not gonna see me through here. What?
I literally rolled on the floor.
It's not even funny. This is dangerous.
It's so dangerous. And it wasn't funny while it was happening.
Yes.
Because I was really in, what they say, flight or fright? What is it?
Flight or fright.
I was
or fight or flight.
Fright or flight.
Flight when you flee. Ooh, child. Say it, don't spray it. We're off to a great start. We're off to a great start today. It's fight or flight. You either run away or you're gonna stand in.
I did all of that because I fought the floor. Girl, I rolled over on the floor and literally almost like, you see how people in the military train, girl. I was like,
yes. Not under the barbed wire.
I was trying to get to the hallway.
What? The hallway?
Girl.
To get to the back.
Got to the hallway so I could stand up because I fell asleep. The lights were on so you could see if any movement.
Silhouettes.
Girl, got to the hallway, managed to peek out one of the bedroom windows and saw that it was a girl. I don't know, he wasn't in the window, but it looked like he was Spider-Man on the wall somehow, like banging.
Not scaling the wall.
Girl, so I'm calling the police. Then I'm sick, y'all. So my voice was going in and out. So you know how when you wake up, you already got that like raspy voice? Girl, I'm on the phone and the lady is like, can I have your address?
I was like 000.
Literally 3007. Ma'am, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I'm sick. I can't talk. 7779311. That's how I was talking. Had to say my address 3 different times for the lady to get it. The police came. Well, first of all, before the police got there,
shouldn't they be able to pick up your address?
That's what I was
thinking. The general area?
I thought that's what they did.
Yeah. Are you located at? If it's like a real dire situation.
Exactly.
Are you at? Just say yes or no.
Exactly.
What is going on?
I don't know. Girl, but by the time I hung up from the police and went back to the window, this guy had dug up bricks in the grass and was clanking them together. Oh yeah. Now this is 2:15 in the morning. In the middle of the grass. Oh yeah.
He was on one.
By the time the police came, he was gone. But of course, now I told the lady. She said, "Do you want to leave your name and number as a callback?" I said, "No."
Absolutely not.
Why when the police get there, she called me? I said,
"Oh, I thought." And I didn't give you my number either.
I didn't give you my.
So you know where I am.
The police are outside. So I go to the door. The police is there. Girl, I was shaking so bad.
Yeah, that's nerve-wracking.
And so they were like, "Ma'am, we're gonna, we'll canvass the neighborhood and see if you see anything." Yeah. So they left. Girl, I could not go back to sleep. Laying on the couch watching TV. I think I was watching Law and Order or something.
Oh yes.
Girl, now I told you I was 2:15. 3:00. I see all these police lights outside my door. So I don't know if the guy came back or if something
hit
else
up somebody
happened.
else.
And it was across the street from my house.
Yes.
Girl, when I looked out, the police, they were lined up on my street outside, all up in the woods like they were looking for somebody. I said, "Lord, please let me be able to go to bed." And I had a 6:00 client.
You can't sleep. Your nerves all rattled.
Oh, girl, and his voice was going in and out. I think that's what reset the whole code.
That is crazy.
Oh,
I'm glad y'all are okay.
Me too. Because you would have been looking for another co-host.
Oh, my Lord. I would have carried on.
You would have.
Without in your memory.
this episode in memory of.
In memoriam.
Girl.
Of Amber Ale.
But that just shows you how people are really crazy in the street. For real. And my street is relatively quiet.
And these days.
Lord have mercy.
And people, I don't know. People be recalling things. Maybe they lived in the building before. Oh, you know what I'm saying? People just be recalling things. Who knows what they got? Everybody got something going on.
That is very true.
Leave me and mine alone.
What's interesting is I always sleep with the windows open. That particular night, the window was closed.
Praise
I said, "Oh my good!" I told him, "I said I'm so glad."
Yeah, in people's delirium or episode, they might have come in.
Girl, and I said, if Scooby was living, girl, Scooby would have tore the window open with it closed. He ain't play that.
Scooby was scary too.
He would have tore that. Oh, girl,
big,
tore that
like
up.
A teddy bear, but big.
Yes. Oh, he ain't play no games.
Not about you.
Ooh, baby. But the other dog, so Marley, the new baby, she was laying on the floor. She was like,
she was getting ready.
Girl, she was barking and looking at me like, "Is this the behavior you have?" Because I ain't sign up for this.
I ain't sign up for this.
Not this.
Check, please.
But what is funny is when I rolled on the floor to climb out, girl, she was looking at me like, "Where you going?
Where you on?
Is you a dog too?"
What y'all got me involved in?
But that just shows you too how we can react in an emergency. Cause girl, what am I doing like this? Pulling my body weight across the ground.
Not major pain. Not major pain.
Girl.
What? Where did you get trained at?
Baby, Southeast military.
Southeast military.
Like, don't let no bullets stop flying. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah. To wake
that
up
was a
to
lot.
That? Oh
that
my
was
God,
a lot.
Child.
And see, that's traumatizing too. Like, I recall when I was younger, I don't even, some traumatizing situations.
Yeah.
But it makes you later in life.
Yes, it does.
Handle things a certain way.
Yes, it does.
Like, oh, don't you go to that door and make a noise.
Yep.
Like, and I'm like, I don't think I had no enemies, but people are
crazy. People are crazy.
The chain.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm glad you're okay.
Me too. Child.
I don't have such an exciting story.
I missed this show. I was like, I got something to tell y'all when I get
It has been a while.
It's been a minute.
But we are back together.
Yes, we are.
I ain't been posting on my own page. Like, it's been very busy.
Yeah.
Right? Just back to back stuff, and you get overwhelmed with just so many things going on. And it's like, I ain't even done my own stuff.
I've been managing to keep up my page. I don't even know how. I think I've been trying to push through with content to not just lay in the sickness of it all. You know what I mean? Because and it's still kind of lingering with me.
Oh, it does.
It's just
It could be a few months. It could be a few months.
Yeah, I've never been sick this long.
Was it COVID?
It wasn't COVID.
Okay.
It wasn't. I'm not gonna say it wasn't respiratory, but it's just like that dry cough. It's just something and the congestion.
It's just something there.
I don't know. I'm just. At least I can talk now. Because when I tell you the man in me, you know how they say we have.
Well, I already got a deep voice, so.
Baby, no,
Oh yeah, but I like that.
No, I was trumping you.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love a little deep.
But it wasn't
raspy.
Cute. It wasn't cute. I could barely. It was deep.
Get your words
it was
out.
nasally. It was like. No, it wasn't nothing cute about that child.
Okay.
No.
Well, what?
But we got.
Yes.
Oh, we got so
we
much
do
to
have.
talk about.
Look, I got my book. I got my book.
To talk about.
But I want to know. I do have a question. I want to know. What are you giving today? What are you giving? What are you feeling like? What are you feeling like?
What you mean?
Like, what do you feel? How you been feeling?
Oh, good.
She like, what?
What is in this? What do I give it today?
She's like, we already did the interview. What you got? Yes, no, literally, because I feel like I'm giving Nigel Robinson. the lady that was in Pakistan.
I know.
You know she back in New York. I'm definitely on my New York today because I forgot all my clothes.
I don't even want to talk about that.
These work clothes.
I don't even want to talk about that.
I was able to hook it up. Thankfully.
I don't even want to talk about that.
I'm giving Onija today.
I'm just glad this came out the closet.
No, it's cute. I love that color.
Free.
Love that color on your brown skin. I love it. I do. Yes. Your brown. My brown eats this up too.
Baby, I know you eat it down.
Listen, don't play with it.
I know.
Don't play with it.
I know.
It is. I love this color because it's not quite neon, but it's almost. It's like a blend. It is a gorgeous pink.
It's a subtle neon. It's
like a fuchsia neon almost.
Yes, but not fuchsia. But not hot pink.
But not,
I don't know,
but I love this color.
I've never worn it.
I have a dress in this color. I do.
I should have saved it.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
That would have been cute, though.
It is. It is cute.
That would have been cute.
It is. It is.
Okay.
It's cute. It's cute.
Okay, so what we
giving what we giving. Now it's been a lot going on in the news.
Ooh, Lord.
Before we get to that.
Okay.
Because that's a big one.
Okay.
I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
It's some smaller things.
It has been. Okay.
Let's see. What did you think about? Did you hear about Gayle King going to space?
No.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Her, Katy Perry,
heard Katy Perry.
And I forgot her name. Jeff Bezos' fiance.
Why
that's terrible. Ooh, and that's what the people want to know.
Why are they going?
People are upset. I don't know the reason.
I really feel like after these people took so long to get back, I don't know if I'm rushing.
I would be
to
scared.
Go.
Nope.
That's the only reason why I'm saying why are they going?
Exactly.
Not them as in them, but why y'all doing that so soon?
But you know, I feel like something like that too gets planned so far in advance.
It does. I did hear that it does.
Even though you could still back out.
Yeah, I definitely heard that it was. Yeah.
Like 2.5 minutes before it
but I'm not doing that.
But no, they were talking about Gayle. Why is she doing this? Katy Perry went up there and she sang in space. I mean, I don't know, but the people, like the internet, was
upset about going.
Like, you could use your resources, your money for better things. Wow. You're upsetting the ozone, I believe.
Yeah, because they're paying to go. They pay to go.
As far as I know, it was sponsored by Jeff Bezos' fiance.
Child.
She, they in the high billions.
I know, but I don't believe nothing.
So
I don't believe.
Well,
okay.
I know. But I thought, would you want to go to space?
No.
I ain't gonna be
I need
about
my
that.
feet right here.
Solid
I don't want to be
ground.
floating nowhere. I don't
Nope.
want my food floating.
Oh.
I don't want my eyelashes floating.
Ooh, and mine already lifting.
I
ain't even
don't want my
fixed
hair
it.
floating.
It might stand up though, depending on how long you have it. Depending on how long you have it.
Don't want that. Don't want my hat floating.
Ooh.
Don't want my glasses floating.
Yeah, coming. I know. Have you ever experienced it though? Like downtown at the museum? Okay, air and space. Never. Have you had the what is it called? What is it? The food that they eat, the dried.
I never had it.
MDF.
Have you had it?
Yeah.
I've never had it. What does it taste like?
Air dried food.
See what I'm saying?
But I mean, that was when I was a kid.
That was a while ago. Okay.
Like going to the museum for a field trip or something. And I know we're supposed to have these things in our safety kits,
Right.
you know.
Right. Yeah.
But they got fancy with it, I think, like macaroni and cheese, like full meals.
But it's still not
I don't know
baked
about that.
macaroni and cheese. It's not baked.
No,
It's
not like
not.
grandma.
Yams. It's
No, ooh.
not.
Ooh.
No.
We got a
And
little something to
so-
eat today,
Baby, I'm
Look,
so
talk about
thankful
food.
for
Don't
this
get me
right
started.
Audrey finally got her some snacks.
We got a little charcuterie.
And I've been enjoying them before her.
That's okay. I got all the original bags.
But my thing is this, though. I
Yeah.
forgot my point. Oh, how long do they have to be up there before they can come back?
They were up there about 11 minutes.
They went already.
They're back.
Ow!
They are back.
Oh, then happy.
Yay.
Oh, that's
Glad y'all made it
amazing.
back safely.
Okay, so they weren't up there that long. They went
No.
and came right back.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Ain't no staying.
Okay. See, I
Yeah.
didn't know if it could be like a turnaround trip like that.
Yeah, it
That
was
was
pretty
good.
quick. I mean, they
Okay.
weren't up there on a mission or anything.
Right.
But I did hear, like, they might be trying to build a hotel. I would never.
I've heard all of that before. How
would
can
never.
they do that though? I mean, what would
mean-
that living be like?
Very interesting.
I don't desire that.
Nope, no, not at all. I'm too scared.
No, I can't do that.
I'd be scared
I
it'd be
barely
one
need to be
little
in it.
crack
Yep.
in my
Nope.
ooh, and then
No.
that's it. You
No.
just like that.
I'm where I
You
was
just like room
designed to
tone.
be. Exactly. Nice and gone.
Nope. Yeah. No. Anyway.
No. Okay.
So Coachella. Oh, what you think about that?
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, say it.
I'm just thinking about the whole Chris Brown and Tiana Taylor moment.
Now wait a minute. What do you mean moment? I heard they
moment.
was like connected.
Not moment, but it wasn't a.
They
It
look
wasn't
friendly.
a moment.
Yeah.
But you could tell she was telling him something up close, and then she backed up. But the way he stepped up and was like, it was like he was.
I did not see
He
this.
was pulling the words out of her mouth with his eyes. It was a moment to me.
What? How did I miss this?
I don't know. You need to look it up.
I
ASAP.
heard they were like
We gonna try to
around
plug
each
it
other.
somewhere up in
yes,
here, y'all.
Yes. Yeah. Somewhere.
Girl.
I heard they were, like,
It was a behind the scenes moment where she just was telling him
and with
something.
Karuchi though. I heard Karuchi was like the three of them was just chilling.
Oh, I didn't see her in this
Like
moment.
old
It was
times.
Tiana Taylor and Chris Brown, and she had him like this, telling him something in his ear, and then she backed up to finish like what she was saying. But he stepped up and he was like,
Keep going.
"Baby,
Ooh.
he could never look at me like that." Oh my God, you gotta
Stop.
see it.
You like Chris Brown?
I don't like that, but the way he looked at, the way he was in his moment,
It was giving grown man.
It was giving good and grown man.
Well, he is grown.
Girl.
He what, 35, 36?
I mean, good and grown. You have to. Ooh,
What?
you gotta see it.
Okay, I gotta find that. Now that was not part of what
You
I was
have to
thinking.
see it.
But I did hear about them, like they've been brother and sister for
This
years.
was no brother and sister moment.
But last year, see the issue. I think, like the reason why people were really bringing it up this year.
Okay.
Too, in addition to what I did not see, what you're talking about, was also that they just haven't been seen together at all since
Okay.
last year. Like last year during the Lovers and Friends tour.
Okay.
Right? It looked as though, because they were all out there. Like,
Okay,
you know,
right,
I saw
right.
Usher,
Yeah.
Chris Brown, everybody.
Right.
It was fabulous. It was
Okay.
wonderful. But when they went skating or whatever, like, you know, their little private celebrity thing, it looked as though maybe they were arguing or something like that. Yeah. And like Usher was trying to, you know,
Okay.
calm Chris down a little bit. You know, like that's his little brother or whatever.
Okay.
But he looked like he was upset about something. I was like, oh.
He
But
wasn't
since
upset in
then,
this one,
you have
honey.
not seen him and Tiana like as friendly as they've been in the past over the years.
This was.
Oh, this is different. But you know she supposed to be dating
I
Aaron
know.
Pierre.
But she was. It wasn't. So I don't want to put. I'm not. It wasn't that kind of moment. It was just.
Intense.
He made it like a. She was gone.
But
on
you
to-
know they be showing for the camera.
baby, she was talking about whatever she was talking about.
Yeah.
But he was like, God, I want to pull it up.
He probably was
so
like,
bad.
"Don't you get it started. Pull it up."
Give me your phone. If we can find it, y'all.
Yes. We'll still try to put it in.
Here you go.
Yes.
Just pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. She in his ear. Baby, do you see how he looking at her?
Oh, I ain't feel that though.
Oh, no. Oh, sure. Let's look again. Baby, you got to look again. You got to look again, honey. Not this part.
Right.
She explained it. Remember, she
It
going
looked like
on-
she bucking at
She
him.
doing what she doing.
Right.
She doing what he doing.
And I love her earrings. I see.
Girl, you don't see that? Woo, I could watch that. Y'all can watch that clip over and over again. Let me watch it one more time.
Not let me watch it one more time.
Because he stacked up and was like,
What?
I love
You
when
love
like,
love?
yeah, I do, but I love when like because he's a man's man, right?
Yeah, I think so.
He's a man, but
It's
he's
a masculine-
He's a homeboy. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
I love when a man can like.
Tell us.
It's like trying to take control of a situation and like handle something. And in that, it's like I'm listening to you, but
this what we doing.
this what we doing. Ow! Look at me. Look at me.
Now, is it going to be Michael B. Jordan or Chris
No,
Brown?
first of all,
Ooh.
I am not feeling Michael right now. He
What
did this whole
happened?
demonic movie. Did you see
I'm
that?
sorry, what?
Yeah, it's some demonic movie that he's in. I do not. Girl. I
Oh
saw
no,
that.
I ain't see that.
I saw.
Quiet on the set. Quiet on. Is our crew talking? Quiet on the set. All crew, y'all. We are in this. You about to get fired. Okay. But you know what? That's a testament. I'm going to go off a little bit.
Okay.
That is a testament to this being very natural. Because it's like you just watching TV. Like, yep. That's what I do when I'm looking at a podcast
that's true.
or a vlog. I be like engaged. I'm
Engaged in-
talking.
yeah.
Yes. Or when you're on a movie set.
Yes.
Like, you be like, ooh, that was a good scene.
But you got to remind yourself.
But yes, you do have to
Yes.
remind yourself. Oh,
Yes.
you say something after they say cut.
Yes. But not.
After we say cut, okay?
Yeah. But I didn't
We
break
love you.
stride, though.
We love you. We gotta stop. Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Look, cause we got a clock, but it ain't in use. We gotta roll. Okay. So anyway, on a not so bright note about
Right.
Coachella,
Okay.
people were waiting in line to get to the camp. Because you know they camp out and all
Right,
that stuff.
yeah.
10 to 13 hours
What?
10 to 13 hours. So people were running out of gas in their cars.
You got to be kidding me.
People got to use the bathroom. Where they gonna go? People's getting arrested for using the bathroom on the side of the road.
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
But what were they supposed to do?
So people scared to eat and drink. So now you starving and dehydrated.
Oh my
know it's hot. 100+ degrees.
That's a trip to Atlanta from here. 10 hours?
You could be rolling.
It is nowhere in the world.
I know. That was crazy. But
wow.
I know. Somebody said, is Jesus going to be there? Because why am I waiting this long? Is he going to be there? Huh? Anyway.
That's crazy.
Some of the campsites, so they had influencers there. Of course, influencers are everywhere.
Of course.
People will pay. They pay up to 10+ K, giving offers just to go to Coachella. Excuse me. I'll take it. Wow. Put me in a little tent on the campsite.
Wow.
It wasn't like, I wouldn't say it's overly fabulous. I mean, it is.
But still,
like,
you're taking care of it, yeah.
Right. I mean, as long as I got some cool air in there,
absolutely.
a bed. But it's bugs and
all
critters and, all that stuff. Anyway, what I saw, though, at the campsites, like, there were trailers for showers. It looked pretty cool. It looked pretty cool. But then you're talking about $600 plus per person. Per person. Then you got to eat. People paying $60, $70, $100 for nasty tacos and lemonade.
Yep.
What? It's worse than going to the movies. But you know what? You hear that, right? You hear, there's no way I would pay this. But it made me think. People are looking for fun.
They are.
They are looking for experiences. And is it worth it? I don't know. I've never been.
Well, I do want to go one year. Yeah. But I wonder, can you pack your own food and stuff?
I guess on the road.
Because that is one thing that I'm not going to do. Like, I'm going to pack food.
To go in.
I
don't know about that. They don't usually.
They probably, I know.
My only festival experience would be Broccoli City.
Right.
Here in DC. And that was fun. I must say. And we got backstage. What? Do you hear me?
What?
When Takeoff was still alive. I mean, this is some years ago.
Yeah.
But we saw the Migos. I was like, Honcho! Honcho! It was all three. They were good. This is before all their issues and stuff like that. Miguel was performing.
Wow.
We saw Sasha Obama.
Wow.
Backstage. We was back there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. So it was fun. And then the Lovers and Friends.
Okay.
Literally standing 12 hours.
Wow.
Without anything to eat.
No. Let me eat on that.
We ate before we went in.
Okay.
And kind of as we went in, like we kind of just held our food tight to us because there's so many people. It's hard to really.
Yeah, it can't clock
so
everybody.
many people.
Yeah.
You cannot. So we did go in. We finished our little sandwich and our little tea or whatever, our drink. And that was it until we left that night.
Which I will say, I feel like when you're having fun, you do forget about the food and all that stuff until it's over and you're like, I'm starving. What y'all want to eat?
I know.
But you're not thinking about it really.
And we were up front.
Oh my God.
So it was kind of like you turn around, it's 20,000 people
and it's nowhere for you to go, period.
No. Like nowhere for you to go. You got to call the security to come and pick you up over the grill. So, but it was totally fine. I don't know if I want to stand there like that again. Like I need to be on celebrity status.
Yeah.
Walk me through. We saw Debbie Allen walking past. Yeah. I was like, wow.
That's how we're going to be when we come.
Thank you. In Broccoli City, like we started talking to the guys some years ago. To try to get on board with them, but it just didn't. It just didn't happen. But we still here. We still here. If we want to. I don't know what they're doing now. Anyway.
What we got?
The moment of the before I end. The perform. I only talk about two performances. So Glorilla performed.
I like her. I like the way she talks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. Fruit. It's fruit.
Yeah. I
I
love the way she
love
talks.
her
She's
accent.
so cute.
I think she's very cute. But Meg the Stallion brought out Sierra. Sierra
Good
is
baby, that thing.
T. Do not play
She is
with her
at all.
ever. And I've seen her perform live in person. She was good. She was
She is a
good.
true artist.
And gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
But
Yep.
and you know you think about her and like she's tall,
Mm-hmm.
but Meg is tall.
Oh, yeah, she is.
So she brought Sierra out.
Oh,
She
I
brought out
love
Victoria Monet,
Okay.
who is also amazing.
Yeah. Mhm.
And then she brought out Queen Latifah.
Shut up.
She brought out the Queen. I was like, that's good. She went.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that.
like you paying homage
She
to
paid-
the ones who paved the way.
Yep. Who truly
Who you calling
paved
her?
the way.
UNITY.
UNITY.
That's a unity. Okay. Now, anyway. Well, not anyway, but that was like the highlights, right? Now, let's get to what I had no idea was going on the internet this weekend.
You didn't?
I wasn't online like that this weekend.
Ooh, girl.
It was a special weekend for us, right? We did it. I was not on my phone. I was with family. I was with friends. That was it. And preparing, running around like a crazy person.
I came across everything.
Yes. How did this
Because
happen?
when I wake up in the middle of the night, I typically do what? It's a very bad habit. But I always check my phone because
It is a bad habit.
But
I
unfortunately, the trauma that has
Yes.
happened in my family
Yes.
has always been in the middle of the night or super early morning.
Listen, stop. I can't. Yes.
So I always
I am
check my
traumatized
phone
by that.
looking for
But I don't like checking my phone. I'm probably the opposite a little bit. So if I'm getting a phone call, I'd be like, "Ooh, please." It's
Yeah.
always bad news
Yeah.
late at night and early in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't want to answer the phone.
But I always still check my.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess because I don't know. I just
mean, we
check
all
it.
react differently. Yeah.
So I typically will like check my phone, and if I'm up, I'm typically scrolling
Yeah.
so I can just fall back to sleep.
Right.
So I
The phone dropping on the floor.
Girl, I go on.
Look, dude, don't let it hit your mouth. Oh my god. I have done that. Boom.
is the worst. So I
bad.
check mines like on my side.
I try, but every now and then I mess up. Or I slept on my phone.
Oh, I do that too. And then I wake
Thing
up,
was
that thing
burning
Burning.
I never seen that message on my phone.
Burning.
It was like,
Yep.
this phone need to cool
Yep,
off.
yep.
Dangerous. Okay, we gotta
Yeah,
stop.
yeah.
Okay, but go ahead.
So I go on TikTok, which is weird. I rarely go on TikTok. It's always like Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
But I go on TikTok, and soon as I hit the app, girl, it is
Ding 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 ding.
the China. I don't even know what
China.
to call it. The China.
Exposure. It was the
Exposure.
luxury or Hermes specifically.
So the gentleman when I opened the app, the gentleman that first came up was called Sinbags.
Okay.
He was the one that was exposing Hermes specifically. I mean, he was exposing other brands, but Hermes, for whatever reason, was his choice of.
Okay.
I guess he's the.
That's how he was feeling.
He's one of the manufacturers for.
Okay.
I don't know, y'all, so don't jump in the comments saying I'm wrong. It's wherever.
Right.
What I will say is,
Right.
he was not just saying, "Oh, we're one of the manufacturers for Hermes." He was breaking down the leather,
Right.
how much
Yep.
crocodile leather is needed, which is 2 crocodiles needed for 1 bag. Oh, he broke down. When I say everything,
yeah.
he broke down everything
Yeah.
for Hermes.
Yeah.
So that's what caught my attention. And as I kept scrolling, there is another young lady. I forgot her name. But she was exposing everybody from Nike, Adidas, Zara, crossing my heart, Zara, Lululemon. She has so many brands. But what I liked about, what makes me feel like that these two specifically were authentic posts, is that this young lady actually took you to and named, not only took you to, named and said the part of China each manufacturer was in and what is housed there.
Right.
So one factory was Nike and Adidas.
Right.
Okay, so this particular factory does the Nike Jordan
Air Max
1s.
or something. Oh yeah.
Yeah, very specific. This particular Adidas factory was responsible for apparel only. The other one that is located here was responsible for all of the footwear. So she was very specific and detailed on who was what. So when I say Trump has pissed off
The people.
honey.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, well, what was going on and why? I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah. And so I think because they are not, which let me say, I think I'm excited about this.
Really?
Because I'm a person who loves when people stand up for themselves, right? So it's not necessarily Trump China. I just like that they are not laying down to say, okay, this is what's happening to us, so oh well. I like when people stand up for themselves in general. So I'm liking that they are doing this. And I need to go back to figure out the truth of it all.
Yeah.
What is allegedly said is that they are welcoming U.S. citizens to the country
To buy straight from them.
to
Stop playing.
buy straight from them.
Stop. No,
When I
wait a
say
minute.
straight, when I say they expose,
What?
I'm sure some of you all have seen it, but they expose all the way down to Tide Pods.
I vaguely remember seeing something about it, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
I'm trying to
Tide
figure
Pod, yes.
out, because they talked about furniture as well.
Right.
So even if you decided to go over there, let's say clothes and stuff like that, you could easily ship back, right? Bring it back with you. But furniture, how are you bringing back the furniture? Because you know China is up
On everything.
on everything. I mean,
Yes. Like,
all of
side
the
note,
technology stuff.
there's a girl I saw. She is an influencer. Why can I never remember people's
I
names?
can't either.
I don't know, but she's
Me either.
a beautiful young lady. And her and her husband, they do video. You know what? If I had my phone, I could look up their restaurant. They have a restaurant in New York,
Okay.
and we will be going.
Okay.
But her and her husband opened the restaurant in New York. But I saw her video first from her being in China,
Okay.
shopping for furniture, furnishing her home.
Wow.
And what I saw, I said, "Ooh,
It's
let me
amazing.
save-
They have beautiful
let me save this video."
pieces.
Gorge. And you know it's always
Yes.
like an ergonomical feature
Yes.
with it.
Yes.
Something very smart,
Yes.
something very high
Yes.
tech.
Yes.
You,
yes.
I mean, you know they say that they're much smarter than we are. I mean,
I definitely believe they're advanced.
and their education system was much more strict.
And they are very serious about their education as well.
Yes.
But
And respect.
what
Yeah.
I need to go back to these posts, y'all. When I tell you I was screenshotting and trying to save,
Yes.
because the gentleman who I was talking about with the Air Max bag, his account has since been deleted. And now, I saw all of that Friday and Saturday. Sunday morning early when I went to go find his page, deleted. It's gone. But when I kept scrolling Sunday, I saw that they were doing this. I forgot what manufacturer it was, but there are a few in China
Yeah.
who are doing deals on. So if you and I go over there and we want to purchase so much, they're doing really good deals on buying pallets of stuff and getting it shipped back.
Baby.
When I say
You're excited.
Trump has pissed these people off, like he has made them so upset.
That is crazy.
Which is crazy because we get so much. So another person made, and you give me your thoughts on this. This gentleman made a comment about, he was saying that he has, for years, has been buying his Nikes from China.
Yes.
Straight direct.
And I've heard of people doing that.
Right.
Years.
So he was saying, I was like, this is so true. He
Yes.
said he would tell his friends, like, why do you say like mines are fake because they're from China when yours says made in China as well?
Yes. So the fake, real conversation.
Exactly.
has been something that has people in an uproar for years.
Yeah.
You got the canal streets of
Right.
the world, right?
What they did say, which I believe, the Sinbad said, there are levels of
Yes, of course.
whatever.
Yes.
So, and you and I know, like Louis Vuitton, whatever you
Louis
say,
Vuitton.
however they say, Louis Vuitton.
Louis Vuitton.
If a leather, canvas, whatever, does not meet
Their standard. The quality, yes.
they sell trash or get rid of that.
Yes.
So if we get our hands on it and make something, it is authentic because it's their authentic leather.
Right.
And so many places do that, even Chanel.
Yes.
So if you happen to get something that is made by someone else other than Chanel's choice of manufacturer, it doesn't make it fake because it is still their leather. Girl, this is...
I guess it... So it made me also think about how outlets used to be with the irregular items.
Yes.
Right? Coach was probably one of the hottest outlet stores. Ralph Lauren.
Yep.
Nautica, like Tommy, all the stores, they have an outlet. But it used to be marked on clothes irregular. It might have an X on the tag.
It did.
Like, nope, this is not something we approved of. But you could still buy it. So I don't know. It just makes me question, like, well, whatever happened to that? Was it that people started complaining?
I think people don't like
with the X on it.
Yeah. Or the word irregular on it.
True.
But my thing is, it still is what it is. So does it make it more valid because you're still purchasing it from the name store versus cutting out the middleman and going straight to the source?
I think it's what we
need for validation. Sorry.
That, right? Yes.
People need to feel validated.
Another young lady kind of talking about, and I wrote down her quotes because her name was Nicole Victoria.
Okay.
On TikTok.
Okay.
When I started trying to research some of this stuff. So a few things that she said. One was that people are trading wealth for status, where they will spend the $30K that they don't have, just to look like they have something, right?
That is true.
She also mentioned that luxury isn't about quality anymore.
I agree.
It's about psychology.
I agree.
And it really is. It's relative to what each one of us thinks luxury really is.
Right.
I mean, there are luxe items. There are items that are of high quality. But we've made Hermes, we've made Dior, we've made Gucci, we've made all these brands. We've said that they're luxury.
Absolutely.
Now, I must say though, there is a difference to me. I'm talking about myself. So I don't mind buying a dupe, right? But when I see that designer piece, it's something about it for me. It's something they do different that I just like better.
I agree.
It's just something, right?
Yeah, I agree.
And especially, I'll speak to Gucci more so because that's probably a brand that I really like.
Okay.
Because of the gaudiness of it. You know, I just like that brand. But it's something about the shape. It's something about the logo, which is what we're paying for.
Correct.
So I did see one of his videos where he was breaking down. I didn't see the one about the Croc. Because then you're talking about $100K for the bag. So he just was talking. He was breaking down maybe a $30K bag from Hermes, and was like, okay, it's one whole piece of leather,
right?
And then the oil that you put to close the seams up, and this and this and that. And he was talking about maybe the bag should cost $1,500,
right?
With the labor included,
right?
But they're able to charge us so much because their logo is on it. That's that's what we're paying for. So it's kind of just
for
like
the logo.
if you still want a good quality bag, you want something to last you through the years. Then just pay $500 or
But I think
$100.
for some people, like you said, it's the logo that says if I put my purse down and you see Hermes on it, you automatically going to look at me a certain way. You're going to look at me as a person of, ooh, she got. But it was so funny because I saw, this was probably a year or two ago. They were doing this study on, and it was Payless actually.
Oh my word!
They had bought shoes from Payless. It was a Payless shoe.
I feel like I remember that a little bit. Yeah,
and it was a high-end shoe.
Yeah,
and they went to different women. Mostly all of the women picked the Payless shoe because they thought it was
the quality
one.
Yeah.
When really it was not. It was the Payless.
Now hold on before we continue. Do you think if they brought that to you, which shoe do you feel like you would have ended up picking?
I think it depends on the shoe.
Okay.
I can't remember what shoe they used, but I definitely feel like it would depend on the shoe.
Because I feel like, yes, okay, I feel like that as well. But I also feel like I would have picked the higher end shoe.
Probably.
I feel like that because I've shopped at Payless before. So I know what they look like.
Right.
And at my size 11
I will say,
foot,
whatever shoe
it
that they
different.
picked,
yeah,
it was it wasn't like your regular.
Yeah. Right.
It was like a good looking shoe. But I think for me it would depend. I want to say the designer shoe because
I feel like
I just always just drawn to something I can't afford.
That's what. Right. But it's just you have an eye for certain things. And so I'm like, I feel like we both would pick
probably
the designer. It's always a little something extra with it.
I will say that that's true because it's one of my girlfriends, we had this conversation before, who had turned me on to like I don't want to say knockoff, the designer inspired bag. So she has a Chanel. It's smaller than mine, but I did not. We were out to dinner. I didn't know that it was not the designer bag until we were like waiting on our valet to bring our cars around, and we were just talking. And I don't even know how it came up, but we were doing like comparison.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Toe to toe.
It was toe to toe. It was toe to toe. Now.
Wow.
Here is what I was going to say with the whole China exposure, which they were talking about when we talk about there's levels to the quality.
Yes.
There is something called, I think it's not grade A, but it's a term that they use that is one of one is what they call it, meaning it's identical to the original. That's what they say, one-on-one. Same, they say one-on-one, same as original. Then there are other levels where the quality goes down. So with her bag, she did pay, I think it was $400 for the bag. $400 because she got the one-for-one same quality. So it is the highest, it's the highest grade that they have or whatever. So, I don't even want to talk about my Chanel bag. The authentic Chanel bags are so much more. But if you want a quality bag, you are going to pay $200-$300 for a bag, right? So she paid for quality. And it looked, I mean, but in my mind, I went to, why am I paying $300 for a fake bag?
Right.
But it's not what makes
now
it
that they're
not
exposing,
authentic is
it didn't
because
come from
they're
them.
putting the logo on it. If it was a regular bag that didn't have the Chanel logo on it, you would be like, oh wow, that's a nice bag. But because it had the Chanel logo on it, it makes you look at it differently. Like, ooh, she got Chanel.
Right. So it's like,
It is a status thing. I think it'll forever be a debate of, even with the exposure, it'll forever be a debate of.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this with my LV little lunchbox, right?
Yeah.
Certain people, and even this Caucasian lady I saw in the nail store, we talked about that too. Certain people can have something and you will never question the authenticity
You'll never do
of
it. Yes.
But if some other people have it, you will immediately say,
that ain't real.
That ain't real.
Why? Why do people do that?
Why do we do that?
I don't know. Because I think I've definitely thought about that before. And it's like, well, where does that come from? I think it's the way certain people carry themselves. You just wouldn't think that they...
And I think it's the opposite, because they will go. They
be the ones.
Baby, they will spend the pamper money to get the real deal.
It depends where you're from.
Yeah, they gonna get it.
So there are those who it gets handed to, and who already have,
right,
and those who got to spend their last to try to feel good about themselves. And so that's one thing that I like that the young lady Nicole Victoria said. It was like, you're already enough. Right. Like, why are you spending things on this, trying to look like this or that, when you're already enough? Right. And I was like, oh, that was deep. That was kind of deep. Like she took it there. But it's like, yeah, I mean, I think for me personally though, I'm sure it stems from childhood, just like everything else does. And I never felt like I needed to have designer items, right? I feel like my parents, you know, they might not always got me what I wanted, but we were shoppers. Okay. So it just wasn't like a thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never was like, oh, I must have this. Like, I like it. Right. But if I can't afford it at the time, I just won't have it. And I'm fine with that. I never felt like I had to work so hard just to get. Yeah. You know? I don't think I have either. I mean, we weren't shoppers. My mom was a single mom. So I grew up on the thrift stores. Like, we grew up at the thrift stores. And so as I got older, I think it's the opposite for me, because not that I won't, it was a balance. My mom, we grew up on thrift stores, but when I was with my grandmother, she believed if you only had 5 things, make sure they are quality and they will last you for years. Right. So you had a balance.
I had a balance.
Yes.
So my grandmother's the one who bought me my first pair. Remember penny loafers?
Yes.
She bought my first pair of penny loafers and the rider boots.
Yes.
She bought those. But everything else, not everything was from the thrift store, but for the most part, like, we did thrift store. We shopped at ZHUZH. We shopped at Sears.
ZHUZH?
You remember ZHUZH? At Ames?
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, my God. Did I just tell myself? Oh, my. You don't remember ZHUZH?
I do.
So we shopped at ZHUZH.
Like off of Branch Avenue? Where was that?
I think it was like down Pennsylvania Avenue. It might have been one of Branch Avenue. I think it was a couple in our area.
Oh, my gracious.
Yeah. We shopped at ZHUZH.
By the Chesapeake Bay. Was it in ZHUZH? Yes. That's off of Route 5. That was off of Route 5. Because we was always at the Chesapeake Bay, girl.
We were too.
Hush puppies, okay?
Yeah, that was a treat for us, girl. We weren't always there, but when they said we going to Chesapeake, oh my God, that was like, oh,
we excited.
But it was the flip for me. So as I got older, I understood the value of $1. So even now, some things I'll be like, it's quality. So let's do it. It's you know, it's a staple. It'll last or whatever. But other things, I'm like, I ain't paying for that. Like, no, I think I can get that cheaper somewhere else.
I don't know. Well, right. So I feel that way too.
Yeah, it depends on what it is.
I don't think I ever cared about money that much. Okay. But I loved to spend it.
Okay.
I loved this. Like, my parents made me realize it wasn't anything to me. Okay. And we were not rich by any means. Okay. I feel like we were well taken care of. I mean, you know, we had nice things and we made do as well. Okay. But they told me, and I don't remember how old when they first told me, but I loved looking through photo albums, right? Pictures of them when, they were younger and us as we grew up. But I had a dress and I wish we kept it. I wish they never gave it away. Oh. It was a Christian Dior dress. And I had to be about 4 years old.
Wow.
Now, do you think they bought it from the Christian Dior store? I don't think so. So it must have been thrifted,
Oh my God.
or secondhand. I have no idea how I got it. But looking at the picture, I vaguely remember wearing it.
Okay.
Because I remember living in that apartment.
Yes.
I remember it. But I loved that dress. I also saw my mother making things, though, on the sewing machine.
Okay.
And then I could go to my grandmother's house and dig in her wigs, her makeup.
Right, yep.
She had, some furs. And nobody was rich.
Yeah.
But they like
nice things. Yeah.
So I feel like, I can go to the thrift store, find me something good. And if I want something, designer, I'll do that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But how much are you willing to spend for that designer? And I think that's the question of the day.
The most expensive designer thing I have is my Chanel bag.
Okay.
That is the most expensive. And I purchased that not only but my driving force was Coach was my mother's thing.
Right.
And I always wanted a Chanel bag.
Yes.
And so my mom was like a bag. I mean, like the Coach drop that just happened. Girl, my mother been all over that. She just loved bags, right?
Like you were.
Yeah. So when she passed, the Chanel bag was kind of like, we always said, like, if we got money. I mean, she had a Coach. I had bought her Coach bags before.
Yes.
But her thing was still like, oh my God, we get money. I was like, I'm gonna get a Chanel bag. She was like, and I'm gonna get a Coach bag. I was like, Mom, but you got like.
Right.
She was like, I know. I just want me a nice Coach bag.
I know.
So when she passed away, that was kind of like my gift to us, if you will, or like our. I don't know. I have to kind of get emotional thinking about it, but like our.
We made it. I get it. It's okay. It's all right. And don't get me to over here sniffling. Listen, do you know what happened to me on Sunday? Do you know what happened to me on Sunday?
What?
Now this got a little bit. This got a little bit of makeup. She's like,
I will use my hand.
Look, it's not that bad.
It's okay.
Look.
Ain't no snot dropping. It's all good.
I can hear it dropping.
Oh, girl. I was not expecting that.
Look, there's a corner.
I'm like,
Look, this the one with the makeup.
no.
But you know what? I just did that. And it was unexpected for me.
Are you serious?
I wouldn't say.
Oh, man.
I think I get more emotional sometimes when I see somebody else.
Yeah.
But I'm an emotional kind of person.
Yeah.
But I can hold myself together right now.
I don't know
why. On Sunday,
it just hits you sometimes.
We was out to dinner and we were just having a good conversation.
Yeah.
Or, among each other. And I started talking about my grandmother. Right? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't talk about this anymore. Like, I had to say, like, I cannot talk about this right now. But what I was thinking in the moment was about who I'm sitting with, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to get emotional now.
Girl, oh my God.
I know.
We about to have a whole...
And the subject that we were talking about was loss. Right?
Okay.
It just kind of came up because we've lost people.
Yeah.
And at this point, we all have.
We all have, yeah.
But it just goes to show the pain doesn't... It's never going to fully go away. Not right now.
No.
Right? So we were talking about it and I was like, ooh. But I'm thinking about you've lost
a
sibling.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. And a partner.
Yeah.
You've lost the person who raised you, your mother.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so I was like, I almost felt guilty actually for feeling emotional about. Don't ask me why.
Oh yeah.
Don't ask me why.
Yeah.
But I did. I felt guilty for feeling emotional. Like, who am I to feel like this when y'all have had, in my opinion, maybe a more massive. You know, well, I can relate as far as losing someone, but maybe not.
But I think the hurt is all when you love somebody. I mean, of course, I do feel like with me and my mom's relationship, we were so unbelievably close.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And when you think about parents, and I think this is something Monty kind of talked about.
Yeah.
When you think about parents, like you only have one set.
That is
like your grandparents.
Your true set.
Yeah, your true set.
Yes.
When you have grandparents, not this, because I've lost.
Right.
I have no grandparents left at all.
Oh wow.
But my grandfather was very like my grandfather was, oh my God, he was such an amazing man.
Oh.
But when you have grandparents, like typically you have two sets. Like you have you know.
Yes.
But your parents, especially like when I feel like a parent and a child is something that is
one of the purest relationships.
But the hurt,
if blessed to have that.
Exactly.
And we know that's not everyone's story.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's experience.
Right.
And I think that's why we have to appreciate that we've had it.
Correct. Yeah.
You know, so much more.
Right.
Because unfortunately.
Yeah. Even coming here, girl, I was driving here and got a little emotional. I was like, check it.
Right.
Because I just was praying like, I say Jehovah because that's what you know. I was like, Jehovah, please watch over my babies. Thinking about Amani and Ashton. I was like, please watch over my babies. And I kind of got emotional. And then I had to immediately switch to a prayer of like, help me to not worry. So, because I think when you've experienced loss so close and so deep, the thought of losing someone else takes you there when it's not even a issue of being there. Does that make sense? Like,
listen, and that's also what was going. Look, now I'm gonna use my own square. Oh my God, because she ain't want to use my square. I know, but that's the beauty of this, you know, how we communicate here. But that's also what I was thinking about, and I immediately was like, let me check on my kids.
See, yeah,
because it's already on my mind. We were out, right?
Yeah,
and they were somewhere else.
Oh,
and I'm telling you, when they not, and I know they're a little older now.
It don't go away.
It ain't gonna stop.
It don't ever go away.
Can I say can't stop, won't stop?
It don't ever go away.
No, it's not going
mine's
to.
Good and grown. And she was telling me today she was walking somewhere. I was like, why are you walking? You got a car. You know, like it just. I was like, please be careful.
And let's not go back.
Let me know what route you going.
To your father talk about when she lost her phone and them ghetto girls. That joint. Some ghetto girl was over. I said, I was trying to be so still and not talk. And
long story short.
And then
couldn't even say.
And another thing. I know. But that's, you know, that's just how we are and who we are, and that's the way it's going to be. Yeah. But yes, I pray, you know, just when I think about it, like, please, and help them to make good decisions. Of course, they're at an age they got to figure things out,
right?
And we can't do everything.
I know, but I want.
No, I don't, but I do.
Girl, I'm like, I do.
But you just really want the best for them.
Yeah, that's all.
You really just want them to learn to make great decisions for themselves and be better.
And be better
than me.
Yep.
Be better.
Yes.
I can never be mad about that. What? I'd be like, oh, that's my kid, right?
That
what?
Yeah.
I'm proud.
Who?
I'm proud of mine. Don't you forget it.
Girl, we gotta get back on topic.
I know, because my son did say that, and you know, and I don't prefer to talk about my family too much.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Because that's what I need to protect. Right? I get like Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Baby.
You don't know nothing. But anyway, my son. Which one was it?
I was about to say, which one? Big one or little one?
The big one or the little one?
The big one and big one.
Girl, listen, I'm the shortest now. But yeah, my oldest, I was like, like, who was you talking to? And he did not want to tell me.
What?
No. And I wasn't
like on the phone?
Yeah. And I could clearly see.
What you mean you not telling me who you talking to?
What you mean? Exactly. But I ain't make a scene. We were, with other friends.
People. Okay.
We were with other friends. But it goes to show that your kids look at you as their parent. No matter how cool you are, no matter how hip you are, they look at you as their parent.
What did you do when
he was like, when we were at home, I was like, so who were you talking to?
Because I didn't forget.
Because I did not. And it wasn't really a big deal. I really was just like, oh, who was that?
Yeah.
He was like, well, Mom, sometimes I didn't want to say because you just kind of do too much. And I said, I beg your pardon. Who? Me? Not me. Not Austria. He was like, well, you probably would have gotten on the phone like, hey, how you doing? I was like, oh.
I got to know who he was talking to now.
I do know, but it made me think about that we have to have a conversation about the doing too much. Because you know how I have this big personality, we talked about that in when you interviewed me. And I was like, okay, I don't want you to build this. I mean, you're young. Yeah. So you're still, growing up. But I don't want you to have in your mind that doing too much is something that I'm going to stop doing. I was not expecting you to. I don't want you to feel like that.
Because you're going to do too much.
Because this has gotten you where you are. Mm-hmm. Okay? And if you shall meet other friends. Right? Because we ain't talking about no dating. There's not any of that right now. But I think it made me think about when little girls are told they're doing too much.
Oh, got you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
I'm going to keep on.
I'm going to.
Right. But I know how to adjust. But when it comes to you, listen, that's what it's going to be.
Yep.
So deal with it.
1,000%.
And an amen.
Too much.
But anyway.
Whew. This has been a show.
It has.
This has been a show.
And I got to go home and pack.
Yeah, because you get on the road tomorrow. I'm getting on the road Thursday.
Yes.
I was trying to get out of town. I was supposed to get on the road tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I have got to learn to not let this business control me. Mm-hmm. Because I was supposed to get on the road tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A good client of mine was like, oh, we need you on production Thursday. Can you please?
Okay.
So I said yes. Mm-hmm. So,
for the love of beauty,
I can't. So now I'm 2 days behind, but I'm not upset because tomorrow is going to be my day where I got to go to DMV because I've been driving around with no license, child. I'm good. I am good.
Don't call 911.
No, I'm good. DMV couldn't print licenses. Oh, okay. So they said they would mail them to me.
Did they give you a piece of paper that says?
Well, they print me out a piece of paper saying, no, they couldn't even print that. They just printed my driver's record, told me to show that to the police if I got pulled over with my expired ID. Gotta love DC. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to DMV to try to get my ID. But I'm going to take the rest of the day to just kind of
decompress.
Yeah, and then Thursday, it'll be back to working, and Friday, I'll be on the road.
Okay.
So we'll be on the road.
Yeah. But we had to, really come together because it's been so much going on. You were sick.
Yeah.
And then we're very busy. Like,
I know.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
But I've been enjoying this.
Me too.
Like, I've really been enjoying this.
I always do. We're going to laugh. We're going to cry.
We're going to eat now.
Now we're going to look. Now I ain't
I
get
miss
this.
snacking.
She
You
don't
ain't
like
me.
smacking now. She
Oh.
likes snacking, but not smacking. You see, I ain't touch it.
You smack on cheese? You can't smack on cheese.
I don't know.
You can't smack. If you
I
smack-
didn't
you
want to
smack
stop.
on cheese-
And this mic, it be picking. You know, I get excited with food,
Wait a
so I
minute.
be making noises.
Can we talk about one thing, y'all, before we go? And this is gonna end it for real.
That's
Do
what we
you watch
always
Atlanta
say.
Housewives?
No,
We're not
I
watching
have-
the kind of baby.
I watched the first episode of this season. You know why? Because Shamia is on there, right? As a peach holder.
Yeah.
So I did want to just see like what that was all about. First of all, the mansion.
Oh, it's
Girl-
beautiful.
What?
That's beautiful.
But who knew all along? She was really the one, right?
Really.
And I feel like she played humble, which is you should be. Like you don't have to.
She really did play humble
Gallivant.
while she was being the friend.
Right. But not now.
I don't really, but only because I know that in production you have to.
You gotta hype it.
You gotta hype it
You gotta
up.
hype it
You
up.
gotta
Yes.
mold whatever.
Yes.
But what I wanted to talk about was this last episode with Kenya.
I heard, but I haven't seen it.
She dug low. She dug low on this girl and pulled out. So just to recap, the speed you up, but not tell you everything,
Yeah.
just in case you look into it. So you know, it always has to be some little drama.
Yes.
This beautiful girl, I think she's beautiful. Beautiful girl is a new girl.
Is it Brit? Right? Is that her name?
Probably so.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I can't keep up with the names, honestly. Could be Brit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pretty girl. But you can tell, not in competition,
Right.
but she's a naturally pretty girl
Okay.
that production might have pegged Kenya against, maybe, let's say, right?
Because Kenya's gorgeous.
Because Kenya's
Yes,
gorgeous.
yes.
And this girl, I feel like, I don't even say competition, but if you had to say toe to toe,
Right.
like she's a pretty girl
Yeah.
that she's tall like Kenya,
Yeah.
you know, all the things.
But
So
she's
anyway,
younger.
She's younger. So at the start of it, Kenya not came for her, but just kind of like little petty stuff, right?
Which they throw shade.
Which they throw shade,
Yeah.
it's whatever.
Yes.
So the girl served it back to Kenya, and Kenya didn't like it. And so Kenya's retaliation to the girl, she found some very interesting dirt on her with pictures. She blew the pictures up and basically exposed this girl at
And an event.
her event, at Kenya's event.
Okay. Because I
And
didn't
so-
hear the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, it was bad.
But I knew it was bad.
It was bad and inappropriate. And so production decided to not film with Kenya for the rest of the
Yeah, she was
season.
suspended. I did hear that.
Yep. So this is the thing.
Yeah.
It was low.
Yes.
It was a low.
Too low.
situation.
Yeah.
Even the other cast members was like, I can't
that
stay
was
here for this.
beyond.
Like, this is too much.
Yeah.
But here is the thing. During production, somebody on a production team knew that that's what she did. So in the reality world,
Because the crew is already. Because we've already been there. on
we've
set
been there
with them.
behind the scenes.
Yes,
Yeah, so we
yes.
know how it is. So it's like they want you to play dirty, but if the reaction of viewers and other people looking on is too, then all of a sudden you playing too dirty. Somebody on production knew what she was doing. She didn't hide that, and all of a sudden it was a
So they
wall
weren't
off.
covered, the pictures.
The pictures were blurred.
Not for TV. I mean, when she was setting them
If
up.
she was right here, we would have saw it. She pulled them out. Say, for instance, she was standing up. She was like this and started pulling them out like this.
Before the event started.
During the event.
Oh.
It was during the event.
Oh, well, maybe they didn't know. You think? Oh,
Austria.
be for real.
You know they knew. Somebody on production knew.
But they didn't care. They said, this is good TV.
So this is the thing, though. So we know, okay, so when they film, it's not live.
No.
It was your decision to still air that episode. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Production, you recorded the episode, you blurred the pictures out to air the episode. If it was really an issue, why did production decide to not
Still
air
play
that
it.
episode? We're going to record another episode and go over this reprimand behind the
Or
scenes.
just take that part out.
They rolled with it. So see, that's what I'm saying. So it's like they want you to play dirty, but when it's too dirty for viewers and you get backlash, then it's okay. We can't do this. We're not going to decide to record with you anymore. Now I'm saying it was a low blow, but I think the better decision would have been to not air the episode at all.
So do you
Just
think
or take that out?
that not that the event was a setup, but airing it was to push her further away?
Women to push who further away?
Kenya off the show. Like, oh, let's give now the people a reason to
I don't think
target
so.
her.
I really think
for the views,
it
for
was
the convos,
for the views, for the ratings, and when I don't want to. I don't want to. I try to be particular about what we talk about and how whatever.
Yes.
But have you ever seen somebody be all in with something, and this situation is happening now on a large scale? Somebody can be all into something, but when it gets too dirty and they start losing,
I didn't do that.
Oh, I got to get out of here. No, okay, I'm leaving. I'm not doing this no more. Whatever. I think that is probably what happened with production.
Fight or flight.
Like it was, because it was excellent for views and ratings and all the things. So it could have just been, okay, we know this is going to get views and ratings.
Yes.
We're going to still push it out there. And if it's too bad, then we're going to nix her. But at least we still got what we wanted.
Yes.
That's what I think it was.
It's the game.
Yeah. Because had the cast members stayed, had the cast members not been talking about what Kenya did being so low, had viewers not been talking about it, Kenya probably would still be taping. Because
But
they
there's no
like
way they
the
wouldn't have talked about that.
They like the messiness of it all.
Yes.
They like the
That's
messiness.
what people love.
That's what people love. Yep.
We all do. A little bit.
But I was mad.
I mean, it keeps things
I was like,
interesting.
if you gonna air it, don't blur the pictures out.
Ooh. But it's a family show. A family network. It's not Zeus.
Well, true.
It's not
But I still was like, baby.
not pay-per-view or whatever they.
And the pictures clearly were so bad, they did not show not one of the pictures. And I think it was like 4 or 5 that she revealed. It was not
But why?
one picture that they did not blur out.
Also, why stoop so low?
Because that is the name of the game in reality TV, right?
No, but aren't you like this in real life?
I don't know.
Are you not this way? How I am right here is how I am.
Right.
Now, of course, yeah, and even we could play things up on camera.
True.
But it's just a certain level. I mean, it's like, do you think they feel an extra amount of pressure? Because at this point, she's been on there.
And she has
for
to
what, 10
secure her
seasons?
spot.
So they still got to keep fighting for this.
Yeah, every season you got to keep
So you got to turn it up.
Yeah. That's why they talk about like you're trying to have a moment, which is, we know what that is.
A storyline.
You're trying to have a moment. You gotta stop using me for your storyline.
Yes.
You have to secure your spot every season.
I couldn't do that.
I couldn't.
Not the reality TV.
I can't do that. Mm-mm.
Because, of course, this is filmed months ago.
Correct.
So you've already lived through it. Now you're reliving through it.
Yep.
But it's like, I feel like you got to constantly come up with tactics and antics
constantly.
to every day.
Yep. That's exhausting.
It's too much. Yeah,
That's
it's
too
just
much.
too much.
I can't do that.
It's too much. But I am going to watch it.
Yeah. You gotta watch it.
I'm going to catch up because I've only seen the first episode of this season. And I haven't watched for some seasons.
And I really like to watch it, or at least the highlights, Because I love to see one, what they're wearing, of course. I
Yes,
love
the
to see the
clothes.
makeup. I love to see the hair.
Yes.
See who's doing what different.
Yeah.
I just love to see that. I love to see that type of stuff.
And they
too.
have, as a network, stepped up how women in reality
have.
TV dress.
They have.
Because it was a mess before.
It was. Although Portia had on this dress that, and I like Portia.
Yes.
But she had on this dress that was so oddly designed. It was like around the neck.
The black and silver?
Yeah, you saw the big cutout?
Yeah.
It was like all of this was cut out so her boobs was just sitting like this.
Yeah. I liked it.
Did you?
Maybe
It was
how did I
just
see
a
that?
circle right here.
Where did I see it?
It wasn't even a sexy cleavage. It was like her boobs were pressed into this little circle.
Maybe I didn't get the full picture.
I want you to
I was
see
looking on my
and
phone
tell me what you think about it.
at something, and it showed her confessional, but it was just like a glimpse.
Yeah, I could
I
not.
like, maybe it was just the tone of the black with the silver that I like.
Because that was
I gotta look at it
pretty,
again.
but it was
Yeah.
literally like
Squish
a cutout
it.
right here. It wasn't even cleavage. It was like just her breast, like they were trying
Smashed.
to push through this hole.
Oh no, I didn't see that part. Maybe I
and
gotta
usually
go back.
Portia don't miss. I just did not.
Yeah,
I
His
didn't
body
like
is
that for her.
T.
Baby,
That thing.
that thing got a body. Always had it.
But you know
Always
what?
had a
These
body.
women, and I love, real women bodies, right? And if whatever you choose
Whatever
to
you
do,
do, child,
that's
please
on you.
give me some.
Like what? Listen, couldn't tell me nothing. And that's why she the way
I would
she
be
is. You can't tell her,
stank.
no. No, I wouldn't be stank. I'd still be nice.
No, I would be. No, not
I would
stinking
just-
attitude, but I would
Them
walk like I
clothes.
would walk like a walk.
I
Woo!
ain't gonna say what I was gonna say. But I feel, what was I about to say?
Oh no.
But what I was gonna say was these women are now getting older.
Yeah.
So it's like what was the word somebody used?
Ooh.
And they're not old. Not saying that at all.
They're just maturing.
They are maturing. So your body
It's maturing.
matures, and
And you gotta
certain
keep up
parts
with it.
of it
Yeah.
just become fuller because
Yeah.
it's ready to sustain you for your next level
Goodbye.
in life.
I hope they can hear me eating this cracker.
You hope? Mm-hmm. Well, let me see.
I like
You want a
ASM
crunch?
ASMR sometimes. But not down to the mic.
I'm not smacking though.
You're not smacking.
I'm not smacking. Are these crackers good? I ain't even. These are everything.
A gardeny, earthy. Taste food.
Let me get a piece of jam.
Well, this was
look,
fun.
y'all, it
Oh
was.
my God, this was fun.
As always, we thank you for watching. Anybody new here, this is what we do. We talk about fashion, family, fun things, food, and of course, we
Makeup.
always keep it fabulous. We keep it that way. We are your beauty gurus, your fashion. I don't even like the word fashionista.
Me either. Please don't
Ugh.
say that.
What are we? What are we? What are we?
We are everything beauty,
And in between.
life, and in between. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share if you want to see more, or if you have any suggestions, please drop it in the comments, DM us at the ZHUZH Podcast,
On
email
IG.
us at thezhuzhpodcast@gmail.com, and until next time,
Keep it tight and keep it right.
ooh,
Peace.
I was about to say like Portia's glutes.